Shalom. Moderation helps. That. All right, so Shalom, where the Hebrew Israelites come in week and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America, soon to be completely obliterated, to use to coin a phrase. All right. To wake up the 12 tribes, the people on the sign, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, the speckled bird. Get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, get back in order. All right. Plain and simple. All right. Same thing. Nothing's changed. Right. Same truth. 100%. All right. To wake you up, get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, get back in order. Time is short. We're at the end. Here we are. Shalom to the brother. Already know. Isaiah, Idaho, the brother. Beloved brother. All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shem, Kakadash, Barakatah. First and foremost, and as always, we face the east. Call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat Hashem and call Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them, taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word, truth and sincerity. The Hope Elect Tabernacle of David, especially you one-man camps, you warriors out there. The Aquat that are listening, learning, being a pillar of rest, 144,000 and 1/3 the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom and salutations, all right? So, hey, 2nd Ezra 5:1. Nonetheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which shall dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of the truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. All right, so here we are. All right, now, what must we prepare our minds for? All right, this wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy tongue. In order to be stable in these times, you have to prepare yourself for the stench of death. Okay? Let's read that again. It says, well, let me pick this little part out. It says, they that dwell upon the earth, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. What does that mean? It means there's going to be mass death. 2nd Ezra 16 and the beginning of 2nd Ezra 16 and 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? So, again, what are we focusing in on right now? The reality of what is before us. And in order to endure until the end, what must you endure? You got to be able to endure the stench of death with bodies laying. See, that's not going to happen until way later at the very, very, very end. But guess what? You're going to be there, right? You're going to be at that point, right? So you better what does it mean to endure until the end? That means you got to see everything. You're going to witness everything come to pass, including mass death. That's when hopelessness, like this, oh, everybody's dying. All my people, my family's dead, right? Hopelessness. How do you endure? You gotta keep it pushing with the stench of mass death all around you. You're not thinking about that. You got to consider that shit. Okay? What is the 1,000-mile stare? Let's look that up. When they got back from Vietnam and them niggas like this, they just, okay? Because what was that about? It was about being in a damn war zone. So where the hell what do you think Jacob's trouble is? You're in the fucking middle of a war. You better wake up. You're on the battlefield. The 1,000-mile stare. Nobody's considering those things. Now, who is not going to have the 1,000 miles? The elect. Why? Because we're preparing ourselves for those things right now. We're like, huh? Mass death? Well, you mean Ring Around the Rosies? What is Ring Around the Roses? It's about mass death and not smelling the bodies around you. It goes back to the Black Plague when we were getting taken down. Well, here comes the takedown again. So a pocket full of posies is to not smell the dead bodies from mass death. It's time for that again. It's time for mass death again. Ring Around the Rosies, right? A pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down, has meaning behind it. And the posies were some flowers that you put to your nose so that you can't smell all the damn dead bodies around from the Black Plague. Okay, well, that's coming back because everything has already happened and it's about to happen again. All right, so again, let's get Isaiah 33. Let's get Isaiah 33 and 6. Let's start at the top. Salaki. You got to get ready, Ben. How? Well, mass death. You got to wrap your head around it. That's what this means. Isaiah 33 and 6. This is the beginning. This is the milk. Guess what? You need that milk right now. Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Okay, so what do you mean the stability? In order to keep it pushing through mass death, you need a pocket full of posies. What is the pocket full of posies? The wisdom and knowledge to know what is coming and to strengthen yourself on a firm foundation to be able to endure anything that's thrown at you. Because everything is a test, right? And wouldn't it help to know what is coming? This is Sirach 5 and 15. Wouldn't it help to know? You know, the challenges and the tests. First of all, they're just tests. And the Most High is not going to put anything before you that you can't have. So when you understand, right, the quiz that's coming at you, you should know how to pass it. Well, here it comes. And it's coming with alligators and teeth and of wild beasts. And it's a little dangerous, narrow path. And you got to pass the test. How do you pass it? Well, you study and you prepare for what is about to be thrown at you, right? Well, what is about to be thrown at you? That test that's going to push you to your very limit. And you still got to keep it moving. Okay? I wouldn't say it's just a game, but it's not. It's a test, right? For what? For greatness. So it ain't just, it's got to deal with your life, right? And the test, your test might be that you get put to death and you do it with some dignity, all right? That might be your test. What do? You prepare for that test. Like Yahushua, he's the example. What did he do? He laid down his life with dignity for his brethren. That was his test. He passed. He was on the ropes, right? He spoke to the Father. He said, hey, I got to do this. He said, yeah, you got to do it. That might be your test. What do? You study. I heard the Elder Wamba, he was like, Yahushua was like, hey, y'all ain't going to do this with me? Stay up. And he was like, oh, no. He's like, damn, I gotta do this shit on my own. Right? You study for that thing. You know what you gotta do. All right? Here it comes. We're in it. Here come the bodies. Right? Here comes the body count, the real body count. Right? And if your body count is high, you're going to be part of the body count. Right? So what was that? Cop killing. Again, Salakia. I did read Second Ezra. Okay. I mean, 16. Did I go to 16? Yeah, the beginning. Okay. I'm going to read this again. This is 2 Ezra 5 and 1. Nevertheless, okay, as according, Salah, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, right? The tokens being the signs, right? Of the end coming, the day shall come, see? Dealing with time. The tokens are dealing with basically the signs of the times, right? Behold, the day shall come, dealing with time, that they which dwell upon the earth shall die in great number. It says, shall be taken in great number. It means shall be put to death all around you. Okay? The day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. That means we're going to be out of there. We're not going to be able to explain what we're explaining, right? What we're attempting to get through your skull right now. And what is that? That ring around the rosies, a pocket full of posies, right, should be in your mental Rolodex so that you understand that this is part of the cost that you counted before you got into this thing. Oh, you're going to make it all the way through? You're going to endure until the end? Well, you better know about these pitfalls that are going to just jack you up so that you don't get the 100,000-yard stare. Combat, dude. Damn near anything goes. And hey, man, these Edomites right now are salivating. And they're LARPers, live action role play. These are the ones that always wanted to go to war and they were too scared, but now they believe in their head that Judah got both arms tied behind his back and they could just walk up with a gun and do whatever they wanted. This is what's in their head. Oh, I'm gonna just run up and put them all to death. No, they're gonna fight back, dude. This isn't the fucking rifle range. This is for all the marbles. This is that fight that's been brewing forever. And this is it. You're calling it on. You're pushing it forward. I'm talking about Esau. We understand that that's the Most High pushing his hand. But this is it. See, down here, you bottom feeders, you knuckle draggers, right, that aren't dealing in the spirit, you about to go to a crazy war. That war that's been brewing, that you know has been coming. Well, here it is. Here, all the marbles is what people don't understand. See, here's what we're seeing the world over right now. We see Esau puffing up his chest and running out like somebody's afraid of him. And he throws everything he got, right? And then whoever's sitting there, right, like Iran, they're like this, boom, they take a couple of, it's like, is that all you got? Right? They're like, that's all these niggas got. Esau doesn't understand that the jig is up. You can't even fight. You can't, the military, the American military, here's the truth about what's going on on the macro battlefield. Okay? It is becoming apparent that America / Israel can't fight for can't sustain a war for more than 3 days before they have to stop. They come and throw everything. Hey, we got all this shit. You throw that shit, it don't work. Can we stop for a minute? Time out. Here's what's going on if you're not watching. And this is true all the way down the line. See, these militias and these Huckleberry Finn, these, I don't even know what to call them. Wannabe cowboy Edomites who think that we take our country back. They think that they're just going to rise up and it's just going to be like when the Most High put the spirit on Gad that, hey, I'm sorry, hey, when you go back and you watch these old movies, right? And I know I'm going to bring up some precepts right now. When you go back and you watch these old movies and you see Gad, right? You got this old grandpa, he's like this. Yeah, it's time. It's time. The white man is going to come. He's going to take over, and there's just nothing we can do. And it's that time it's time for us to go. They were telling the story. We didn't understand, right? There's a part in that when Gad is getting taken down, they got that movie. And then they flash to the old grandpa, and he's like this. Yeah, the great buffalo said that the white man is going to come, and we're going to go down for. And what they were saying, right, is that eon, it's their turn to reign. That time came, right? That part is in every movie. You know what? I need to go search that out. Famous movies, famous westerns where the Indian, right? There's a particular scene where the grandpa, the patriarch of the tribe, he gives that speech where he knows that it's written, right, in the great buffalo, the great spirit in the sky and all this bullshit that they changed it to, right? That scene, right, he's describing, basically the cup of trembling, right? How is it that Gad was just taken down? It wasn't because they weren't fierce warriors and could have took this devil down, right? No matter what they had, it was just the Most High put the spirit, right, stirred up, if you will. I will stir up the Medes against them, right, against the Babylonians. Well, that stirring up is to put the spirit of triumph on, all right, which we go over regularly anyway. The point is that Esau, okay, when the old Gadite told the story, well, the spirit buffalo said that the white man was going to come and that we're all going to go into a period of mourning, right? He understood. Well, right now, Esau, right, he understands that same thing. The old grandpas of Esau, they're like this, oh, our time is up. That's what Gad was saying in these movies, right? Gad was saying, our time is up, right? And that's what this is saying. This is Genesis 49. In the spirit, what is it saying in the spirit anyway? I'm going to just bring it out. Genesis 49, what is it, 17 or 19? It's 19, right? 49, 19. I'm going to read 1 first. This is Genesis 49 and 1. And Jacob called unto the sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which may befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. And then he goes down the line and he speaks to him. And this is 19. Listen to what it says in the spirit though. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Okay? That's the same story, right, that the old grandpa told, right? The old Gadite, the patriarch, he said, oh, the white buffalo said, right? But he didn't tell the last part. He said that we're going to be overcome. Same story, right? So the northern kingdom understood. That's what Esau is actually putting that in the film, right? I want to see if I can. That's going to be an exhaustive study, but I'm gonna just try to do it online if I don't have to, rack my brain as an old lion. But that's what it's saying right here. I'm gonna read it again. Uh, 19. Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. And that's what the old patriarch was saying. Hey, the white man is going to come and take us down. Somebody is, right? But he shall overcome at the last, all right? That's the part that Esau, see, when I can imagine, right, as a man, I can imagine that if Esau knows about that, then he heard it, right? So yeah, the great buffalo said that, the white man was going to come and he was going to take us down, right? And then Gad kept going. But then after that, our time is going to come again, right? That's the part that Esau edited out. He made sure to, that's how he gets down. And I imagine that as a man. But if the old Gadite told the first part of the story for balance, I'm sure he would have told the rest of it. Because if he understood that the great buffalo or whatever, right? Because this is the way that that Esau wants to tell us. Well, he said this in Cherokee. He said that the great white buffalo, right? He'll feed it back to us in a movie instead. Now, what really happened is if they really broke down what they actually said, it'd probably come out in broken pidgin Lashawan Kodash, right? That they done cobbled together from the Assyrian or whatever, or what they call Aramaic, right? But they're gonna hide that. So why not hide the other part? The great buffalo said that, the great buffalo. The great buffalo named Yahweh, right? The great spirit in the sky. This is how we get it. Great spirit in the sky say, right? Some Gadite dressed up that will fight you, right? When you try to tell him that they were speaking Hebrew, a motherfucker will try to fight you while he regurgitates what he was taught by his oppressor after they done let him out of these little Catholic schools. Okay, we got you straight now. We done got all the Lashawan Kodash out of you motherfuckers. Now here's the language. Here's your language, Cherokee. Here's your language, Blackfoot. These are the Blackfeet. Really? That's their name, the Blackfeet Indians? I'm a Blackfoot. A nigga will run around. I'm a Blackfoot Indian. Really? That's their name? That's their ancient name, the Blackfeet? See how easy that is? Now, what was the Lashawan Kodash name, nigga? Like the ones written on the stones. What were their names in this language right here that they were clearly speaking? Not the bullshit, the Aramaic and all these other lies that you're telling. Yiddish, right? Whatever they're calling Hebrew today. You see, I haven't said Hebrew. I keep saying Lashawan Kodash. Um, this. Bear with me while I try to. I'm gonna try to get something. Let's see, from. I'll go to Ring Around the Rosie, right? Block me out of anything that I could have ever wanted to get into. What is the real meaning? Okay, let's go to it. Oh, probably not gonna let me in. Okay, this is shit, I don't know. Posted by Stephen Winnick. It says Ring Around the Rosie, Meta Folklore Rhyme and Reason. Okay, posted by Stephen Winnick. It says a recent blog post at Londonist describes 5 London nursery rhymes depicting death and ruin. The rhymes in question have diverse origins and histories, but what seems incontrovertible from James Fitzgerald's work is that they describe dark and portentous matters from English history. English history, as in King James, the King of England, the King of Scotland and Ireland at the same time. The brother. It says, or do they? Looking closely at these rhymes and the scholarship surrounding them suggest other interpretations. I'll discuss one of the rhymes in particular because it tells us interesting things about folklore and our ideas about folklore. Ring Around the Rosie, or Ring a Ring of Roses, Ring a Ring of Roses, as it's sometimes known. Fitzgerald text goes like this. Ring around the roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. A tissue. Wow, what is that? And how far back does that go? And it's spelled A-TISHOO. A tissue, we all fall down. And it says, Fitzgerald states emphatically that this rhyme arose from the Great Plague, an outbreak of bubonic and pneumonic plague that affected London, England, in the year 1665. All right? King James what? The King James 16, what is it? I'll come back to that. Right? The King James 16 what? Anyway, Ring Around the Rosies is all about the Great Plague, the apparent whimsy being a foil for one of London's most atavistic dreads, thanks to the Black Death. The fatalism of the rhyme is brutal. The roses are a euphemism for deadly rashes. The posies, a supposed preventative measure. The tissues pertain to sneezing symptoms. Of everyone falling down is, well, death. Let me read that again. Ring Around the Roses, or Rosies, is all about the Great Plague, the apparent whimsy being a foil for one of London's most atavistic dreads, thanks to the Black Death. The fatalism of the rhyme is brutal. The roses are a euphemism for deadly rashes. Wow. The posies, a supposed preventative measure. The atushues pertain to sneezing symptoms. And the implication of everyone falling down is, well, death. This interpretation emerged in the mid-20th century and has become widespread, but it has never been accepted by folklorists for several reasons. Okay, now they're about to disprove it or to take it away, right? Which I'm not interested in doing. It rings true to me, all right? That rings true. And whether it has to do with that or not, let's just talk about the Black Death. Anyway, the what? Let's go back and read this, okay? It says, and let's get some of these words, all right? It says, and sometimes it says, plague. There's a word, plague. What else? Plague. Deadly rashes. Fatalism. Bear with me for a moment. Death and ruin. Okay, so let's get some plague here. Let's read about plague. This is 2nd Ezra 16. How many times can we find the word plague in 2nd Ezra 16? Okay. 2nd Ezra 16 and 5 is the first time it appears in 2nd Ezra. It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 5, plagues, plural, are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Many a man, may any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer, right? And that arrow is a plague. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. Well, that arrow is one of the plagues. See? The bubonic plague. That was the bubonic what? Right? Well, the ICBM missiles are a plague. This is the plague that goeth forth. The chariots are a plague. Here come the plagues, right? Now let's go back to Ring Around the Roses. The bubonic what? We're in the time of plagues. Right? Now, this is pestilence, this plague. The plague of pestilence. I was looking for another word dealing with plague or pestilence, but death and ruin. Salakia. dark and pretentious matters, right, of from English history. Um, yeah, plague, a tissue, a tissue. I guess that's the act of sneezing. Symptoms, falling down as well, death. All right, but plague, let's go back to plague. All right, it says, this allows us to ask whether the specific images associated with the plague occur in all or even most versions. It turns out that they don't. Many versions have no other. See, they're trying to explain away the plague. Well, we're not explaining away the plague here. Okay? What are we doing? We're exposing the plague. Okay, so let's Second Ezra and we're just kind of going, prophesying to the wind. It takes us. Second Ezra 16:5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? All right, there's one. Let's just go down the plagues. Let's see. 14. Behold, the plagues, plural, are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. That sounds like the right? Now, it's pestilence, it's CV19 or whatever's coming next, whatever's coming down the pike, as they say. Should they try to ignite the shit about a couple of months ago? Oh, here it comes, it's starting again. They were about to pull the trigger and then they pulled back. They could bring that thing out whenever they want to. Lock this bitch down. Plagues, right? That's that pestilence plague. Let's get another plague. What is that, Ezekiel? I don't even know how to look it up. This is the plague, right? Ring around the rosies? Anyway, this is what's coming, man. Ring around the rosies going into the smell of the stench. Okay, that was a component in there. Anyway. This is the plague. That goeth forth, right? What is it? Zachariah? Is that what I want? It's not really what I want. It is what I want, but I wanted something before I got there. I wanted with forth. Let me see. Let's start there. Let's start at Zechariah, Salakia. I'm upside down. Zach. Oh, Zach. Okay, well, Zechariah 14:12. That goeth forth over the whole earth. That's what I'm looking for. 14. Right. All right, so this is describing the missiles. This is Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague. It's still a plague. This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away, and their holes in their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That is a plague, Salakia. Let's get 18. This is Revelation, the 18th chapter, real quick, since we're on it. They kind of go together. What? Plagues. Oh, is it 18? It's lucky. Yep. It's lucky. Revelation 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Okay? So we're in the time of those plagues, right? One of them being pestilence that causes people to die, and then you got to smell their rotting bodies. Okay? To the horse's bridle, that's the blood. Let me see. The bodies shall be piled high. Let's get that. I don't know. I think it's in the Apocrypha. Bodies. That's biddies. Oh shit. This is Psalm 110 and 6. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall wound the heads of many countries. 10 and 6. Uh-oh. Let me read this. Is Psalm 110 and 4. The Lord hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Malach Tazadok. Who's that? The Lord at thy right hand. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. Who is that? That's Yahushua. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with dead bodies stacked up. He shall wound the heads over many countries. Okay, so let's examine that. Graphic we can get with it. Psalm 110 and 6 in the NIV. He will judge the nations, heaping the dead. What does it mean to heap? It means to stack on top of. Heaping says he will judge the nations. This is the NIV. Heaping the dead and crushing the rulers of the whole earth. This is the NLT. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. How about that? See, now when you fill the land with corpses, right? You know what else you got to do? You got to smell that rotting flesh. See, poses. You got to be ready. Yahushai, right? It says this. He will execute judgment. Yeah, but that's when he get here. That's when he get here. See, that ain't gonna happen until he get here. But what will I if it be already kindled? And what will I if it be already kindled? This motherfucker's on fire right now. Ak. Here come the dead bodies. You know how many dead bodies are already going to be there by the time Yahushua gets here? They're going to be out there. Read a couple more. He will execute. This is the ESV. Psalm 110 and 6. He will execute judgment among the nations, filling them with corpses. He will shatter chiefs over the wide earth. Standard. He will judge the nations, heaping up the dead. What do you mean, heaping up? He will crush the leaders far and wide. This is the King James Bible. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. Fill them with corpses. Fill them with corpses. Corpses. What is that? He will fill the places with dead bodies. He will judge the nations and crack their cranium. He will judge the nations and crack their skulls, leaving piles of dead bodies all over the earth. What does that mean? Let's read that again. Okay, so let's read this. All right, that's Psalms 110 and 6. Let's read this first. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra. What was it? 5 and 1. Let's read this. 5 and 1. Ready? Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of the truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Psalm 110 and 6. In the English version. He will judge the nations and crack their skulls, leaving piles of dead bodies all over the earth. The day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. He will judge the nations and crack their skulls, leaving piles of dead bodies all over the earth. Here we are, starting at Alcatraz, and all these other little things that, see, you don't know, you don't understand. Why do you think this dude was a reality TV superstar, right? And now they're setting up, let the games begin. Let the Hunger Games and the Alligator Games and the Gladiator, the Coliseum Games, they're gonna film this shit. They're going to broadcast it to the masses, and it's going to be bread and circuses, and people are going to love it. You don't need no Coliseum. You just watch it right here. Oh, pay-per-view. Alligator Alcatraz paper. Oh, yeah, they're advertising it. Christians, who are niggers, by the way, to the lions. What does it mean to throw the Christians to the one? It means alligator Alcatraz. We're going to throw you niggers. Nigga. That's the Most High waiting for you at the sea camps. First, they got to make sport of your motherfucking ass, then. Right? Well, you get ready to smell a whole bunch of death all around you. if you plan on enduring until the end, right? Shalom. Yeah, if you plan on enduring till the end, battlefield. See, I like this. Good News Translation. Psalm 110 and 6. It says, He will pass judgment on the nations and fill the battlefield with corpses. You got to understand you're on a battlefield no matter what. Battlefield Earth. Have you ever heard of that? Fill the battlefield with corpses. He will defeat kings all over the earth. You're on the battlefield wherever you go. Step out the front door, you're on the battlefield. Go to sleep in the bed, you're on the battlefield, dude. You just chose to try to get some sleep. And there are rounds coming over here. See, this one says filling the graves with, no, filling the graves? Ain't gonna be no graves. There can be too many bodies. So it can't be that. He fills the valleys with corpses. Yeah. He shatters their heads over the vast battlefield. There you go. He will heap up dead bodies. Fill the places with the dead bodies. As we all fall down, you better get your respirator or something. Completed the carcasses. He hath completed the carcasses. Wow. He will fill up ruination. Head, it says, American Bible says, who judges nations, heaps up corpses, crushes heads across the wide earth. Count the slain. Let's read that against this. Lamza Bible. He will judge against Salah. He will judge among the nations. He will count the slain. He will cut off the heads of many on earth. Okay, so what do you mean count the slain? Let's read this again. The days come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. In great number. Let's count the slain. What is that? Count the slain in great number. Well, we counted the slain, and guess what? It was a great number. There's a lot of dead bodies stinking, right? The stench. And their stench shall come up. Let me get the northern, let's get the stench. The northern army, right? That's Joel. You're just kidding. Let's lock it. Is it Joel? It's 2. Barren and desolate. Here we go. Now, the point I'm making here is this. You're on the battlefield, dude. You are on the battlefield, and Jake is ready to call for his rights. I have right. Nigga, you have no right. Your rights have been stripped away. Whatever rights you thought you had, which you never did, guess what? Those motherfuckers are gone. Why? Because we're at war. We're not under the Constitution. That's why this dude is doing what the hell he wants to do. We're at war. It's a state of emergency. Everything. You ain't got no rights, man. You ain't got no rights. You're going to be calling for your rights. Guess what? You're at war. You're on the battlefield. You're being hunted right now. You better wake the hell up. You better wake the hell up and understand that you're the prize. You're the one that got to be taken down before Yahushua gets back. They know that. You're the only one that don't know. Joel, what is it? Oh. Joel 2:20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army. That ain't talking about, that's talking about the army. That ain't talking about, why? Because everybody's on the battlefield. The northern what? What do armies do? They fight on the battlefield. I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate with his face towards the east sea and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up and his ill savor shall come up because he hath done great things. Listen, his stink shall come up. Why? Because they're at war, dying on the battlefield. Well, what do you think is going to be happening? You're at war and you're going to be dying on the battlefield. And the bodies are going to be stacked up to here. And guess what? Your stink, your stench, ashes to ashes, right here. Merry old Babylon. Merry old Babylon, right? Ashes to ashes. This is not merry old England, Nick, in the 1600s. This is merry old Babylon, where the bodies become the plagues for you blacks. Okay? What must you do? You gotta build your castle. You gotta build your house on a firm foundation that rock Yahweh Shai, right? Get into this strong tower, dude, because if you ain't in this one, right? If you out there floundering with the Tazariacs and the guerrilla Hebrews and the little, I'm famous. I'm basically these people are influencers. They're influencers with fringes. You know, they're not warning the people. They're not telling them to prepare for the stench of death, right? Because Judah's next on the chopping block. You got Lisa Cabrera sitting there laughing at Issachar. Oh, they ready. You're next, bitch. Your stupid ass is next. That's the Northern Kingdom. You sitting there taunting them, you're stupid. You don't know your next, dummy? People don't know, man. That's another thing. Why are they going to be taken in great number? You're going to come to the astonishment of this. What does that mean? They're not going to be ready for it. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. 5 and he shall come to the astonishment. What is that? Where is that? Is that 13? Salakia. 2nd Ezra 13, Salah. The days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. That's 13, right? Salakia. This is the old man memory thing. Let's see. Astonishment. Okay, I'm going to read that. This is 2 Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Why? Why? Why are they going to be astonished? Because they're not ready. They're not prepared. They haven't. They probably heard, right? But then nigga ain't trying to hear that shit. This shit ain't going. Not in this lifetime. Where's the promise of this coming? Nigga, you ain't. Right? They're going to be astonished. Well, you're going to be astonished. You're like, oh shit, I was wrong first. Damn, I was wrong. Now what comes along with that? Well, let's find out. You're so far behind right now. You haven't prepared yourself to smell the stench of death. You're going to be on the ropes. You're going to have that 1,000-mile stare on your ass. Astonished. Let's look that word up. Astonished. Shall come to the astonishment. You wasn't ready, nigga. A nigga was giving courses on. Gotta be ready, man. Right? He's giving out Class A courses on what to do, and he was like this, oh, nigga. Fuck that. And now your ass is caught up. Right? That's how it works. Astonishment. Let's get that. Damn it. Come on, you. Come on, Google. Okay, it says Oxford Language Dictionary. Safari, nigga, come on. It says, very simply, it says, great surprise. You're going to be greatly surprised. Okay? And he shall come, let's read that again. Great surprise. 13 and what? 2 Ezra 13. And 20, let's start at 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. We're in those days, right? And the beginning of the delivery is for us to stand upon our feet, right? Pursuant to Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. And they stood upon their feet, and then they were amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, right? So, and he shall come to the astonishment, the great surprise of them that dwell upon the earth. Why? How is it great surprise when we've been out here for, starting with the elder apostles on down, 40 plus years? You understand? How are you greatly surprised? Because you was like this. The Most High hid it. He blinded you. But now suddenly you're presented with what? Plagues. I can't drop it. What's happening? Everything. Right? No foundation. Everywhere I go, it just smells like that. Yep. It smells like that. Get used to it. Wrap your head around it. Count it all joy. Here we go. Diverse temptations. Okay, we got our instructions, see? Count it all joy. Get them ring around the rosies. What is it? James. James 1 and 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. How do you get around that? How do you get around the smell of mass death? Well, let's figure that out. Right? Well, you get a washcloth and you put, some lavender got your little essential oil. Whatever. Think about it. Okay? Get used to the smell of death. Endure till the end and make it through. Laugh about it later. Right? I'm gonna just cut to the chase, okay? What do you think these people were doing? See, they're laughing right here. They're breathing a sigh of relief because they breathed the dead body. And see, let me say this. Let me ask a question. Because I don't know. Right? Yeah, I said it. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. The remnant, were they immortals at that moment? Were they immortals at that moment? They had to be, because on their way up, right? If they were saved and breathing a sigh of relief, on their way up, their bodies were being changed, yeah? Just a thought. At that moment, what are they saying to themselves? They're like, "We made it! We made it! Listen, I don't smell," right? The stench of death is gone. Right? You're an immortal. What does the air smell like then? Right? So, and that's where you want to be. That's when, see, you passed the test. Got beamed up, right? You passed all the tests. You're on the ship. Breathing a sigh of relief, slapping 5, looking down, watching, see a glass. So that should be your mindset, right? What should be your mindset? How do I make it to where I'm sitting there with an immortal body, breathing a sigh of relief, and saying to me, how do we make it through all that stench of dead bodies? Right? It doesn't matter at that point, but in order to be on that ship laughing and breathing a sigh of relief, giving glory to right? You made it. In order to do that, you had to wrap your head around all of that stench of death. Right? That's what it means to count the cost. Right? Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Let's go back. What was that, James? Prepare yourself. Is that what it says? If thou comest to serve the Lord, that's in 2nd Ezra. Where's James? Jaime. wants to serve the Lord. Nope, it's not in here, Salaki. Bear with. Salaki, bear with me. Salaki. This is Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou comest, Salaki. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, okay, prepare thy soul for temptation. What does that mean? Prepare thy soul for temptation. We can get that in what? NLT? Sirach 2:1, right? NLT. Sirach 2:1 in the NLT reads, it says this, my child, if you are going to serve the Lord, whether you're going to serve the Lord or not, okay? All right? This is about going to serve the Lord. This is about the men of the Lord. But this is for everybody. This is for the 144,000. This is for the 1/3, okay? You got to prepare yourself for what's coming. This is what it's saying. It says, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. Be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. What does it mean? Be prepared for times when you will be. It means what's going to test you? What is going to defeat you? Let me tell you what's going to defeat you. The smell of mass death is going to do this to you. Okay, let's go back to this. The 1,000-mile stare. Where does that come from? It comes from the battlefield. Okay? They're in combat. Right? See, the nom, if you will, or the battle, it has a smell. War has a smell to it. And it's very important. It's very important. Smells are very important. If you live like, you know, when you, like, I live in California, and if you drive from one end of California, if you drive from San Diego to the Bay Area, what happens is you pass through all these little towns, farm towns, and sometimes you pass through a cattle or it's whatever. And you like, what happened? Like, I couldn't even live here because for like at least 30 minutes, sometimes it used to be, you're smelling nothing but cow dung, like vaporized cow dung. You're like this, how do you live here? Right? How do you live here with this stench? Right? How much more if the smell of death is just wherever you go? How many bodies? How many people do these devils want to put to death in their culling? Right? You got 8 billion people. This motherfucker wants to kill all of them except for 1%, which right? My child, if you are going to serve the Lord, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. I'm gonna take off the my child I'm gonna just read this. Be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. Be sincere and determined. Be calm when trouble comes. See, here's your instructions right here. Moving forward, okay? It says, be prepared for times you will be put to the test. How do you do that? You better start imagining being on the battlefield. What? Shot at, set up, cold, wet, right? Hungry, right? Not how comfortable you can be, but how miserable you can be and keep going. See, the life of a soldier is this. You got to get out there and fight. Yeah, you're all fucked up, but you still got to get out there and fight. You got to walk 20 miles with blisters and no feet, trench foot. You're all fucked up. Your feet hurt, blisters, can't walk, knee all fucked up. And go, you got to get out there and fight for your life right now. See? Regardless, it's not about comfort. Comfort is gone. Comforts are gone. If you make it on that ship, it's not because comfort was there. You're gonna barely make it. Even though you're gonna have abundance, you're barely gonna make it. And it's gonna be hard. Oh no. See, Jake is like, oh no, we're gonna have everything. We're gonna be kicking it. No, you're not. You're gonna be tested to your limit. You ain't gonna be no damn cakewalk. You done fooled yourself. Call Halal Yahweh Shem. So, yeah. instructions. Aaron Mauser. I'm not gonna touch that one. Okay. Goddamn clowns. Let me give you one, Aaron, and then I'm out. This goes out to all the Amalekites in the building. Amalek. Did you say instruction? Here. There you go. Amalek. Amalekite. Amalekite. The Amalekites are in this book right here. I'm looking for a proverb. I'm gonna pull old proverb on that ass right here. Proverbs 1 and 7. Of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Paya. Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Philippians 2 and 12, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right? So with that, all right, just, hey, prepare yourself, right? Prepare to be miserable and to endure until the end. It's not going to be easy. And the smell of death, you have to embrace the smell of death. All right. With that, we hope the elect were edified, you brother and key sister. Faith to ease and say, Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations, all the brothers that push the word of truth and its sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle.